Ladies and gentlemen, we present to you Wine and Auditing. Welcome back to the channel where we build financial power. My name is Matt, and this is
the Surprised Potter.
The Surprised Potter. That's what we do around here. We surprise Potter with my thoughts, with my actions, with my emotions. I get dressed up for no reason for your entertainment. And today we're talking about wine and auditing. And I'm intrigued. And we're going to be diving into a project here. If you don't know, we go live every Thursday, Friday, 10 Eastern, where we talk about this trippy world of DeFi. Potter and myself are documenting our own process and learning this DeFi world. She's a pro, seasoned vet. I'm learning the ropes, but hey, I guess I'm a little more seasoned. You can turn me over. I'm not quite done. And we're going to be talking about a project. This is something that we have been apprehensive to do because if you've been on the internet ever, you'll know that it's filled with a whole bunch of bull. And we don't want to just hawk projects at you. What we want to do is we want to take a deep dive. We want to take a look at some of the understandings, the technical analysis. This is where Potter shines. Before we dive into it, Potter, how you feeling? How you doing over there as I get undressed?
It's ladies, look out. So I'm really, proud of what's happening in the Forex space. Is the music on? Is it music? The whole ecosystem working.
Yes.
I'm really happy about that because last week we're talking about our journey on this program. Well, last week was the week that I went to one knee. When I started this whole thing, I left my job, over 200K a year, right? To do this thing because I saw how big it was, but I was always realistic. This might be a sabbatical, or it's retirement, and I'd hope for retirement, but I was being realistic with how much I could live off of a day. And, I told, my family that, hey, I'm going to come so close with if it's a spaceship analogy, I'm going to break the gravity. I'm going to break the Earth's orbit. I'm going to be affected by their gravity. And I'm going to try to pull out again, right? Without landing. That's how close I'm going to take this. And last week was that week. And I was starting to acquiesce that or, give in to the idea that I might have to go to work part-time at least.
Yeah.
In the retirement. But then the ecosystem that, I left for started to announce, hey, yeah, so we're real and we're coming back with integrity in place. And so I came back from that. So I'm feeling real good. Sorry for the long story.
No, I think that's important. And as I told you offline, I guess it was online through tech. Anyway, I said that I think that's really important. If you're comfortable with sharing, if you're okay with it, it does okay for you. It does a lot for the audience, the people the people you educate, because in our eyes, it's like, Potter, she knows her stuff. So for her to say, there is reality and I'm not romantic and I know that there is possibility I could have to go back to work, it installs confidence in me, to be honest with you, because it shows me that there is, it just proves, it's not something I question, but it proves that you know your stuff, you understand reality, and that's just great. It's great to have a solid understanding and not romanticizing. That's great.
Thanks. Yeah. And one of the things that I think I could even do a better job is to make sure that people understand I'm not a rah-rah.
Right.
Right. I'm like, no, the data says that.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going to stray from that.
Yeah.
Same thing with the weather. The weather says that I'm going to go with the data, And so looking at all of this, understanding the finance markets, what I had to understand, integrating technology and all of it. Yeah. I'm not making it up.
Yeah. Cole, appreciate you being here. Said Matt's fitness channel just got 100 new subscribers after the sweater peeling. Oh, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of that goes on over there, Cole. Good
day. He's always got his shirt off, ladies, on his
at all
on his Matt Lane Fitness. That is true. No, I
Not in
don't
the
know how
video.
many lives I've turned
Not,
into. I'm like, hey, I wonder what Matt's doing.
not in the
Hello,
videos.
ladies. No,
Now,
he's
if
not
I'm
doing
working out, yeah, if I every now and then I'll do a live stream or workout. That's true. That's true.
that.
Before we dive into it, Cole, thanks for hopping in here. That's the best part of the channel. You guys are straight up legit. Thanks for the honest takes on things. I appreciate you. That's what we're after. That's what we're
Yeah.
after.
Now, what we have noticed is maybe my idea, and by the way, I didn't run this by Matt, of the headline, "It's over." We got maybe several unsubscribes last week, and I'm thinking maybe they just read that headline and thought we were over. So sorry about that.
No, don't apologize, because we cannot control anyone's perception. They're going to see what they want to see. We can only put out content that we know is true. And hey, if the way YouTube and marketing worked is you didn't have to have appealing titles and thumbnails, if that's the landscape, and if we didn't want anybody to see it, then sure, we wouldn't do that. But we want to reach people. We want to talk to them. So for the people where they're at, if they unsubscribe or leave, it's okay. That's the journey they're in. They felt that it was wrong. They can leave. It's no biggie. It sucks, but it's all good. It's all good.
See, if I had my little sound thing working, I would have played like little piano music.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
violin. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that would, no, not violin. That was a piano. That was
piano.
A beautiful moment.
Okay. Well, I'll take it. All right. So let's do it. Let's dive into this project. It's something she knows about, something I'm learning about.
The project is called B&B Rothschild Winery RoiGame.
So the first thing anybody thinks is this from the Rothschild group? Like, is this from them? And of course not.
I can't, if they did, I don't know anything about it. So I would probably say odds are no way.
Yeah.
But I think I got here by following some baked bean stuff, right? So I don't know if this is associated with them either.
Yeah.
Right. So we're going to try to do this. I'm sharing a screen, not comfortable.
And to clarify, what we're doing here is we're not diving into this project because, like, we want you to get in it. Like, we will specifically say right now, do not get into this. Do not get into this. This is not financial advice. But the reason we're taking a look at this is because we want to do some technical analysis. We want to give you more than just emotions and soft stuff. We feel like we've been doing some soft stuff lately. We want to do some just objective, hardcore stuff. Here we go.
Right. So what you can see is that there's 96 B&B in here, and there's $29,000, right? Mm-hmm. So this is what you generally do. You go, there's a link to go look at the contract. Everybody looks at that, and you kind of always look here, you know? Mm-hmm. Some people will click on this, but that doesn't make as much sense as this. People are really looking to see, are people hiring more or people selling more? And as you can see, they seem to be going through a hiring spree. Mm-hmm. But when you take a look at the contract, you kind of look at it, you know, at least before I could write code, I looked at it, it's like, you know, function, use unit. Mm-hmm. I think I should go somewhere else, right? Yep. And what I wasn't looking at was things like up here, are you using something called safe math, right? What is safe math?
Good. Yep.
Safe math is a group of components that are vetted by what's considered to be one of the most trusted security groups that put out modules. It's hard to describe it. I'm trying to deprogrammer it.
Smart.
But it is basically a collection of math specific calls to a function.
Okay.
Like this. And they didn't use it there. Like this.
So basically some mathematics is going on within this coding to give you something.
Correct. And where you're going to find your biggest exploit is in people trying to do math themselves, right? Because you have like one developer or maybe two, let's give you 10 developers working on something, and you have millions of bad guys trying to come up with a way to figure out how to trick your code. Sure. And the easiest vector in is through the algorithm of a calculation. Okay. So these guys right here, as you can see, these authors are calling the safe math library to do this. So you know that there's no funny, there's a strong likelihood that there is no funny business going on in here, and you can trust it. right?
Interesting. Okay.
So that's cool, but that's a little bit over techie. You know what I mean? Like that's harder to go in and see. But so the next thing, and I think that if you've been a victim of a rug pull or a self rug where people are just doing stupid stuff and you have to go claim your tokens using the contract, you've probably looked at these two tabs, read contract and write contract. So read contract, I'm going to scroll down because otherwise you guys are going to click away. But as you can see, it's just a lot of stuff. And I can just tell you that when you see things in a read part of the contract, that's really more of a reporting. You know, do you have any questions, Matt?
When you say reporting, what do you mean?
So like if you come in and you say, how many have I purchased? How many are left in this contract?
Oh, so this is a reporting for yourself. So you can come back and look at sort of your history.
Yeah, when you look at a read, whenever you see anything that says read, it's really reporting.
Okay.
Right. Like if you think of, if you had the ability to run a report on your local theater, right? Somebody gave you a bucket of things that you could search on. You could be like popcorn sales.
Okay. That's cool.
Right.
That's cool.
That's kind of like what you do here. These are different things that you would look at in a movie theater. These are different things that you'd want to see in a contract.
That makes sense.
So some of these are typical, but some of these are hardcore programming techniques and you don't need to go to them. But we didn't bring you guys here to go to that level. We wanted to look at this, right? Because this is the area where, this is where the bad guys do their bad stuff. This is where they have the ability to go in and modify a contract by putting functions inside of the contract that can be called to alter. Okay, guys, you can withdraw 100% of your funds today. I could write a function that said, yeah, I can change that to 1%.
Yep. Okay.
So I changed that to 1%. And what you guys are trying to claim, and you've claimed how much you can for the day, the bad guy is waving goodbye, right? And because you didn't go check the contract, the auditor could say, the auditor would pass that. The auditor would say, hey, they've got a safety feature so that if a bad guy comes in and tries to get to the contract, they can take it down to 1%. And then they can send their money to another wallet.
Okay.
No, they're criminals and they're going to take it to 1% so that they can get out of there. You know, but an auditor can look at it one way or the other.
Yeah.
Right. And it's up to the auditor. When I used to do assessments, like it was that long ago, I did assessments and I did audits. And I was not kind on either one of those, right? Like you had to do what you said you were going to do, or I was going to say something.
Sure.
And so having an auditor would sit right next to me and they go, I don't see it that way. Right. That didn't make them wrong. Right. They were just as professional as I was. So let's take a look at this contract when it comes to write. Hire, referral address for people who are going to, be referring. You need to put that in, so that you're tied to somebody for referrals, right? That makes sense that you would write that.
Right.
You want to hire more farmers. You'd want to sell the farmers or your crops. I'm sorry. You can't sell farmers. And you'd have to have something in there to start the actual farm in the contract.
So those are the 4 functions of this project.
That's not normal.
That's not normal. There you go. That's what I was trying to nail down to. Got it.
That's not normal.
So there's only 4 functions here. What is more normal to have a certain amount of functions? What would be a normal amount of functions?
Maybe.
Which I know it's not a set number, but
a dozen.
Oh wow. Okay.
Half dozen. Because you want to be able to alter things, right? For the sake of the contract, but just not too much.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It does. So my head goes to, if bad guys can come in and change certain things and whatnot, trying to wrap my head around still. If somebody can come in here and change things around with the math, like you said, does that mean it's an unlocked project, a locked code? Unlocked?
No. What that meant when we were over here It just means that, let me see, if I can cause a behavior that no application would expect ever, I might cause the application to try to figure out something that it can do that's an illogical equation. And once that is exploited, then maybe I can see other code. They creep in like this, like centimeter. They'll wait a week
to see what the code says.
Centimeter. They go so slow. They're very patient, right? Okay. And so by having a library that's written by a group of people who've already vetted it, that one easy vector in is eliminated.
So it sounded like what you just said was it's almost like a game of chess for bad actors, bad people that are trying to exploit something. They'll make one move, whatever that may be, and it may be small. And then as a defense, that project pops up certain code. That bad guy's like, oh, okay, that could be an exploit. That I could use that, and then they hack in through that. Interesting,
right? And so if a bad guy sees safe math, it's like a bad guy driving on the street to see whose house to rob. Alarm company, open window.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So a bad guy is not is likely to use that. However, some bad guys are like, we're accountants too. We use safe math because we trust it and we want to get your money. You know, make sure. So it's not just because you see safe math doesn't mean it's there.
That makes sense.
And so, you know, in a sense, like a lot of this is, and I'm going to come back to the screen, but how do I get it? So a lot of this is just, you know, simple tips for doing, you know, some basic TA, you know, it's self TA, which means, hey, I'm a cybersecurity professional. I've done assessment, so I can do it at a different level.
Yeah.
But here's some of the tools that you can use. You saw me in the Blockchain Explorer. Use a search engine. Social media, like their Twitter account. Telegram is Matt's favorite thing.
Love it.
You know, that you should be, I use Telegram to find out how many subscribers, like if a project just released yesterday, right? And I look at their Twitter account and it was just created a month ago. And then I see that they have 10,000 subscribers.
Okay.
It's like, okay, well, nope, I'm out. You know, that's not real.
So you're basically, what she's saying right there is utilizing their social medias to sort of vet them, be like, all right, looks like they've been around for a year and a half, 10 years. Oh, they were started yesterday. That's not a good, got it. That makes sense.
Right. So I'm going to take you guys back to the page. Yeah. So that was another note for me.
You're good. Keep going. While you're figuring that out, I'll tell them. Just so you know, guys, we have been we've been working on stockpiling some non-live videos that may be posted if we can't make it to it. So if you see a few videos here in the future that aren't live, that's what happened. Go ahead.
Yeah, like, you know, maybe tomorrow.
Maybe.
So, here are what you're looking at. You know, this is still on the Blockchain Explorer, and you click on Analytics. And then it kind of gives you some preview of, you know, what's been happening, you know. So for this so for an ROI miner, it's very important that this not be happening.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You don't mind that your account balance goes on, but like, where is this BNB transfers? Look at this, you know, out versus in on this day. And then if you go here, you know, you can see it. Look, that's not bad. That's kind of like an even day, you know, but these are the decisions you should be looking at, or we try to look at before we go into any play. There's just so much. Like, you should not read or watch one video and go, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right. Because if we had presented you with a presentation on them, we could have given you such a great spin. We could have talked about the volume. Yeah. We could talk about the limited developer code, but you know, that's not necessarily a win, and it might not be your appetite. Some people might say, well, I like the developers to have more control over it, because how many times have we seen a launch and then they go, oops, we need to do a version 2.
Yeah.
Well, if
Very
they
true.
can't control the contract, are they going to be able to get our tokens back?
Exactly.
So,
Exactly.
it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. But we just feel that you guys will be more prepared with this, what we gave you today. So
that makes sense. Eris slid by, said just tuning in to say hi. Hope all are well. Good to see you in here, good sir. Hope
hey, good to see you again, Ara.
Hope you're well. Okay, interesting. All right. So what do you got here? It looks like you're talking about Zoom and timeline and volume.
No. That's all. Those were all notes for me. Those were just highlights.
I thought that was
I zoomed into the timeline.
Got it. Okay, I like it. So I feel like there's a certain level of technical analysis that you have to. All right, how do you put this? I think in order to be successful with anything, there's a certain amount of homework you have to do, whether that's you're getting into real estate, you're saving your own money, you're learning crypto. There are certain building blocks that you just have to understand. There's certain things that you have to know. And, I think in stocks, let's just say stocks, because everybody knows stocks. You have to, I think, understand that stocks work typically on a trend. Some people do day trade, but a lot of people, even if they day trade, they look at the history. What has happened with this company? When they release something, does it go up? Does it go down? Like, what's their history? Are they a good company? That's analysis. That's analysis into that stock before you invest in it. I feel like the same thing is evident here with crypto in a certain level of technical analysis. While someone like yourself enjoys it and is very good at it, that helps a lot. For the common person that is unwilling to learn any of it, I think that's going to work against you. I think that's going to work against you if you're not willing to learn any of it. For someone that is willing to, learn some of those basics, the technical analysis, and it is, quite overwhelming. Like you said, like it's a lot. It seems like a whole lot. Do you think that going to BSC scan is a good start? Like what we just basically did, going to BSC scan and sort of familiarizing yourself with, okay, I don't understand. Like there's a bunch of stuff here. I can look at transactions. I can understand that is a buy and that is a sell. There's a lot of buys right now. So, okay, that seems like a good thing. Oh crap, there's a lot of sells right now. That's a bad thing. For the person out there that might feel overwhelmed, I think the main point to take home here is it's not easy. If it were easy, everyone would be doing it. But I highly encourage, and I know Potter highly encourages you, the more you do it, the better you're going to get at it. Like I'm honestly not great at the technical analysis at all. But one thing Potter's taught me, whether she's realized it or not, is that especially with crypto, because that's not something I think a lot of people come by naturally, especially seeing how it's new and all that. Like it takes time. So ultimately what I'm saying is this is hard. This is hard. This is hard for me.
No, it is hard.
Point blank. Like this is hard. This is hard for me. So I know I'm not speaking just for myself. That just because you look at this once, you're like, this is tough. I don't get it. You got to look at it again. You're going to have to continue to look at it. You're going to have to look at BSC scan. You're going to have to look at these types of things. So it's basically an encouragement and a push for you that a certain level of this needs to happen. You need to be willing to be uncomfortable with it. So that's what I'm getting at. If that makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense. And to your point, I was looking at BSC scanner, these blockchain explorers.
Mm-hmm.
Same. Like I didn't know when I came in last March what the frig they were.
Right.
There was so much I learned months later that I was like, boy, that would have been helpful. Mm-hmm. Right.
Like I remember some of the first times you and I were on a Zoom call and we talked and like, you walked me through just basic stuff, and you pointed this out a little while back. You're like, look how quickly you zoom through MetaMask, or, you link your wallet. Like there was a time for myself, and I know you, the viewer, there was a time where just linking the wallet, I'm like, what the hell is this? Yeah. So, think of anything you've ever been successful at, or at least become competent in. If you drive, like you sucked at that, it was quite fearful to see the other vehicles approaching you, depending on what side of the road you live on. So it's going to take practice. So,
and it's worth it.
Yep. I guess It is, without a doubt. And I guess I say all that because I know like it can seem overwhelming, but it doesn't have to be. The point is, we will be here every Thursday, Friday. If you're feeling squirrely, come on back 10 Eastern. Anything else you want to add, Potter? You closing? You good? You got everything? I like it.
Thanks for listening.
That was really good.
To our marvelous 15.
Okay. Appreciate you. Well, builders, keep building.
Game on.